Pornography is a sack of seeds. There are ideas and concepts and beliefs and values about how we perceive women and children and sex and life. And so if you can see then that what we are looking at here in our culture is planting seeds. Our culture is planting seeds. Pornography is planting seeds. The idea then is that what we consume, those ideas have an impact on us. So when you see material that objectifies and strips women of dignity, that actually reduces women to objects, that actually combines sex and violence together, that is going to produce those ideas, those concepts, those fantasies, when they're planted in our minds, produce the mindset that that's okay. So in one sense, we're allowing as a culture to plant seeds that are demeaning, objectifying, dehumanizing, and weaving violence with sex, but we get mad when we have the fruit. The reality is we need to address the seeds. We need to deal with the ideas. We need to be in the concepts. And Scripture is pretty clear about that. That is that we're to take every thought captive. Why? Because every thought that comes into our mind is a seed. And when a seed is planted, it will produce the same kind of fruit that it gets planted. The same kind of fruit that the seed is. So the idea is that we must take responsibility for what's coming in here. So understanding that it's important for us to actually face and deal with the pornography issue, you can't just overlook it, because you can't address human trafficking without addressing pornography. Because for me to use a woman without any remorse as an object, to treat her like she is nobody, there's a mindset involved that I perceive that she's less than. Almost every man that comes in my door that wants help, early exposure to pornography is absolutely one of the most foundational pieces to the piece. So for me at 12, I was over at my uncle's house playing Army, and he's an elder in a church. He led worship. He was a counselor in our church. And I snuck into this shed and to hide, and in this shed was 200 to 300 pornography magazines. I opened that first magazine, and it was like a drug in my veins. The excitement and the arousal wasn't like anything I had ever experienced, and I didn't know how to put words to what happened. It was like my mind was printed, like my mind was fresh clay. To this day, as much work as I've done on my journey, I still remember those first images. And keep in mind, I'm a preacher's kid, so I'm in church more than I am anywhere else. So I'd run down to the altar, I would cry out to God. I said, I don't want to do this anymore, because I knew that this was polluting something. It knew it was affecting how I was seeing women. And the girls that were there in school, I saw myself shift in my attitudes. And I couldn't put words to it. All I thought was, because this is adult material, it's called adult entertainment, adults can buy it, adults consume it, they can use it on television, they can use it on the internet, this must be okay. This must be how adult men treat adult women. And in my mind, with that being adult, I wanted to be an adult. I wanted to be grown up. And so I began to struggle with this issue. But then I would go to church, and then I would hear my dad speak and many others speak about, about pollution in the mind and the heart. And I would run down to the altar about being a Christian and being a committed Christian. And I'd cry out to God, and I would weep, and I'd say, this is it, I'm done, I'm never doing it again. I mean it this time. I'd tear up the material, and I'd throw it away and walk maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, sometimes a month or two, but I would be right back there doing it again.